Good evening. I'm here to talk to you tonight about technology, and so I'm going to start off telling you about a few students. They're not students that I've actually worked with, but similar to them. 11-year-old Alex is a 5th grade student who was referred to his school counselor by his teacher. Alex was referred to see his school counselor because he has inattention in class and he also has emotional outbursts. These outbursts are caused by we don't know what. Just kind of happen throughout the school day, and they're causing disruption in his classroom. It is known that Alex has ADHD, and he does take medication for that. However, these outbursts that he has in class cause him to have extreme highs and lows within one school day. Because of these outbursts that he has and his emotions, he has said to his parents and teachers that sometimes he just wishes he could kill himself. He does tell his school counselor that he enjoys spending time playing video games, and the video games are violent in nature. He also likes to binge watch TV shows, and as his counselor does more research, she finds out that those shows are mature in their content. Something that he loves to do with his family is watch TV. They like to sit in the same room watching TV, playing on their tablets and computers, and being on their phones at the same time. Emily also sees her school counselor. She's been going to her counselor for about the past 2 months at school. She's a 4th grader, and she was referred by her parents because of anxiety that she experiences at school. She has trouble making friends and really doesn't like to get up in front of others in the class. She feels anxious when she's in front of her peers at school. This does affect her overall attitude towards school, causing her to have many absences. Because of this, she is failing some of her courses. She also is academically lower than her peers at school. She shares that she enjoys Snapchatting her friends, messaging on Facebook and Instagram, and surfing the internet. Because of this, she does not feel like she needs to make friends at school because she's got plenty of them online. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children that are under the age of 2 years old should have no exposure to technology and devices. Children older than that should only have 2 hours a day on educational programs. Those should be meant to help our children learn and shouldn't be meant for play. However, currently the average child spends 5 or more hours a day on technology devices. These are children aged 5 to 16 years old. Screen time that children are using under the age of 3 is actually linked to slower language acquisition and delayed development in language. While many parents are believing that their child will have more brain development if they are exposed to educational activities on technology and devices and TV, there's actually no proof that this is true. Actually, there is proof to show that it is more harmful than it is helpful with children. There's also a negative correlation between screen time usage and interactions with family members and peers. Children who spend more time online spend less time with their family members and with their friends. There's also a link between screen time usage and problems later in childhood, including less physical activity, lower academic achievement, and social conflicts with peers. The effects on children who are exposed consistently to technology are detrimental when you take the time to realize the way that children are constantly growing. It is my belief that allowing a child to use technology in an excessive amount is causing a generation of unhealthy children. What I'm talking about tonight is a public health crisis. We have to realize the way that this is damaging our children, and we are allowing them to be exposed to media and technology and causing harmful effects. In my role as a school counselor, I work with students in 2 main capacities. I go into every classroom at the school I work at, Farley Elementary. I work with about 550 or so kids, and I go into every classroom every other week, and I get to see all of them. But what I really value is the one-on-one time individual counseling with students. And in that time, I get to work to promote academic achievement in students and help them be successful. I work to build a therapeutic relationship, learning about children's interests as well as the challenges that they face. I also understand ways in which both home life and school life affect a child's development. Something that I keep learning in my role as a school counselor is the way that technology is such a life. And I also realize the way that us as adults, we have a chance to foster imagination, growth, and development in children. Sometimes we forget how important our role is in helping children shape into the future self that they will be. With that, we also have the ability to hinder this. We have the ability to stop the growth and learning of children. So the reason that I'm up here talking tonight is because I see day to day the detrimental effects that technology is having on our children. It's my belief that if we just open our eyes, we can easily see the way that technology is hurting the lives of our children. If you go on Google and you search the term health, you're going to come up with a definition, a noun, a person's mental or physical state. In our society, we are obsessed with physical health. We really worry about the way that we look, our outer appearance, and we are worried about our cholesterol, our weight, how our heart is doing. But we forget about our mental health too, and in our society, we are beginning to open our eyes to mental health. This begins at such a young age, and the thing about mental health is it can't change like physical health can. We are setting our children's mental health up right now. Our role is to ensure that our children are becoming both physically and mentally healthy human beings. Many health concerns are arising as children are spending more time using technology and devices. They're becoming less active, and because of this, the rate of children who are overweight is increasing in the United States. Children who view television and media devices have a higher body mass index than children who do not. They also consume more calories. Today, 1 in 3 children is considered to be overweight, according to the American Heart Association. We also see other physical issues in children due to a large amount of screen time. Children's color vision is hindered because of screen time usage. The screens that our children are exposed to are causing them to see less colors in the full rainbow spectrum. That blue light that screens give off also is harmful to their eyes. It causes eye strain, headaches, and it also creates sleep disruption. The blue light decreases the melatonin that we have in our bodies, causing a child to not be able to sleep at night. Not sleeping soundly has an increased chance of getting sick, a decreased chance of doing well in school, and also increased anxiety and stress levels and less of an ability to work through that stress. As an educator, I've worked with children from preschool age up through middle school, and it's frustrating to see the changes that are continuing to occur in our children because the amount of time that they are spending and technology is becoming more prevalent for youth. The implications for youth who are consistently exposed to media are devastating, causing short and long-term health effects, hindering their social development, and creating psychological issues that lead to long-term mental health disorders, creating adverse effects on the academic, social, and emotional health of children. And then my frustration continues to grow as I spend time counseling students more and more, and I learn more and more children are spending most of their time at home on devices. And then I get even more upset when I find out that this is what their parents are encouraging. Their families are not focusing on the relationships that should be built within the home. The habits that we're teaching our children are increasing things like anxiety, ADHD, depression, low self-esteem, and they're decreasing mental and social health. I came across a commercial made by General Mills for some of their granola bars, and I would like you guys to see this commercial because when I watch this commercial, it helps me realize the way that technology is truly hurting our children.
When you were a kid, what did you do for fun?
So we'd go blueberry picking, for instance. That's so cute. But it was true.
We grew watermelons, plantains.
I found an old sign which was big enough for me to sit on and made a great toboggan. It was very slick, very fast.
I had a few fish in my basket, and I looked up on this bluff, and here's this black bear sitting there watching me. If he starts chasing me, I'm going to keep throwing the fish out of my basket until he's gorged and he won't bother me.
And what did you like to do for fun?
You know, you go door to door, get a group of kids, and you play lots of games, hide and seek, just going out to the field and playing baseball.
And we build these massive forts, you know, the kind that you can actually sit in and play in, you know, with our friends, and it was just really wonderful.
So what do you like to do for fun?
Video games, definitely.
I like to go on my phone,
text, some email.
My favorite thing to do in the world is definitely watching videos and playing video games. Those take up so much of my time.
3 hours or 3 to 4 hours a day. Same.
5 hours straight.
Just last week, I watched 23 episodes of a TV series in less than 4 days.
I forget. I'm in a house, I have parents, I have a sister, I have a dog, I just think I'm in the video game, I completely get lost.
I know. So what would your children say if they were asked the same question as those children in the video? What do you love to do as a child? There's a drastic difference between the generations of grandparents, parents, and children. It's eerie the way that they're responding. Listening to the colorful stories that were told by the grandparents and parents reminds me of my own childhood. It takes me back to memories where I remember my parents calling me from inside because it was time for dinner. They called me inside after I had been exploring the world around me, and I know that I came in covered in dirt, grass, and who knows what else. But I do know that when I came inside, I came in for my own magical adventures, where the world was at my fingertips to explore. When I came in, I had come in from playing teacher or digging for buried treasure or soaring into the sky like an astronaut. I also love to have a play restaurant outside, mashing up grass. My imagination allowed me to do those things. The memories that I have, playing outside, digging giant holes in the yard, digging up earthworms, or playing with the 4-H animals, those are things that I still treasure to this day. My friendships were built on time outdoors, playing until there was no more sunlight for us. That's something that's not replaceable. And I imagine that many of you sitting out here tonight can think of a time like that, and it brings a warm, nostalgic feeling into your heart, one that you truly wish you could go back to. But imagine your children, the children being raised right now, won't have those feelings. Their memories will come from their tablet, their phone, their devices. They have memories of Instagram and memories of Snapchatting and Facebook, and I'll tell you, I can't recall a single one of my memories from one of those apps. Their sense of adventure will come from a tablet or a phone, a screen in their hand. Today, children are spending half the amount of time outdoors that their parents did. They're growing up in a world filled with technology. They don't even need to look up to experience the world around them. And I am not here to dismiss the way that technology brings advantages into our lives. I use my phone just as much as everyone else out there does. But the reality is that our brains are more advanced than that of a child's. We know what content is too much. We know when we have spent too much time, we can stop ourselves. Children are curious, and so they don't stop. They keep looking, they keep searching, and their threshold of what is too much continues to grow and grow. In the video that we watched by General Mills, that last boy said something to the extent of, when I'm playing a video game, I forget that I have a sister, I have a house, I have a family, I forget that I have a dog. When I'm in the game, I'm completely lost. So there is an example of what children are feeling. When they are using technology, they are losing grips of the reality around them. They feel a sense of nothing, and that's what they like. Our children are learning to value a virtual world, one that they are not truly a part of. And then in turn, the world that they are a part of, the one they're living and they're breathing in, they are absent from. The family experiences, memories they're making with friends, and opportunities to experience the world are not valued by our children. Children are picking technology over relationships with others. So it's our responsibility to help them find the value in relationships. How many of you out there can think of a time that you were ignored by somebody because of a device? Children are learning that technology replaces connections with other humans. Their social skills aren't developing because they aren't socializing. Family interactions are dwindling because the amount of screen time that children and adults are spending. I often even hear adults complain because they feel like all their children really want to do is spend time playing games, being on their iPad or texting on their cell phone. But the reason that they want to do that is because that is what we have allowed them to love. And I argue that's not what children want or what they need. I remember a conversation that I had with my class when I was a 5th grade teacher. We were talking about the ways that technology brings challenges into our lives as well as advantages. And contrary to what you might think, many of my students brought up the ways in which they feel technology takes away from their family time and their relationships with others. They complained about how much time they feel their parents are spending on their cell phones and computers when they could be interacting. And then when I asked my students, I said, well, which would you pick? Would you rather have more time with your devices, or would you rather have more times with your friends and your families? Every single student chose to have more time with their friends and their families. Children do want your attention, they do want your love, and they want your time. But when we continue to ignore them and place a device in their hand, we are teaching them that the device is more important than their time. So please leave here today ready to work with your child to help them be a part of the world around them through real and tangible experiences. These should be tough, they should be challenging, and they should take your child's courage. If we don't set your children up for the future that they're going to embark on, then we are only setting them up for failure. If you want to help your children, take the time to teach them, to listen to them, to play outside with them, and spend every minute that you can building a real relationship with your children. As educators, parents, and just members of society, we have to teach children the values of life. Technology should be utilized as a tool to help our lives run more smoothly, but it should not take place of experiences. Don't allow your child to use technology as a crutch, a way to make friends, a way to see the world, or a way to play. What you model in your home is what your child is going to do. If you value technology more than the time with your child is going to value technology more than time with you. Please instill a value in your children of worth, teaching them that they are worthy of a relationship in which you devote your time to your child. Something we have to do without technology. We have to love our children and give them attention. And I'm sorry to say that there isn't an app for that.